All right, welcome to this week's edition of Attack the Track. We are here at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway in the trucks. Show you the track information here. Track is 94 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a lot cooler than it usually is. Here at Hotlanta, usually we're running in the teens to 20s, and so it's a lot cooler of a track. Going to be more grip out there. 44% track state usage. Going to do things a little bit differently. I've already run all the laps, and so I won't be doing them live, but we're going to go over it. I'll show you the in-car as it's live, and then we'll go have a bit of a discussion after that. For your qualifying, you can almost run flat out. That's going to be the question. So you have to baby lift in 1 and 2, and then to answer the question, can you run flat out in 3 and 4? Yes. Are you going to wreck the first 10 times that you try to run flat out in 3 and 4? Also, yes. So I would definitely practice this before you just see this video and go, cool, you can run flat out in 3 and 4. I highly recommend not doing that because in the middle of 3 and 4, the car is going to want to over-rotate, and it's going to be very hard to catch it if you don't expect it coming and know when that's going to be. Now, for setup-wise, I have changed. I've run a 14 to 1 for the long run. I do run a 12 to 1 for qualifying. I have a +3 offset for both. I found that the +3 offset to the right helped me catch it a little bit earlier when it was starting to over rotate. When I had my hands a little bit more to the left, it was a little bit harder for me to catch. So adding the +3 degrees really helped me not over rotate the truck in the middle of the turn. So with that being said, let's go and watch qualifying. It is going to be a second lap qualifying, so on your first lap you can kind of just run whatever in 1 and 2. In 3 and 4 on your out lap, it's going to be your first lap. You want to run high, but I'm actually finding a little bit better speed putting my rights on the outside seam. If you run all the way against the wall 1 out of 10 times, you'll get a little bit tight and have to lift, and you can't full throttle it. If you run a little bit lower, then you're just 1 mile an hour slower. So coming to the line here, it was 176. If you tend to run in the middle, you're going to be at 177. I found putting my rights on the right seam, I can get up to 178 coming to the line for the fast lap. So we'll be coming to the fast lap here. And that got you a 187. So I've done lots and lots of laps here trying to qualify better. I've gotten down into like the 1.3s, but it's not consistent at all. When you're running that fast and going that low to do that, if you have to catch it at all coming out of 4, then you're looking at like a 2.4 or a 2.7. So it's wrong one. So it's definitely, you can do it, but I'm not consistent at all with it. So let's go back and look at my line and all that. So Farchise. So as I said, coming to the line, I hit 178 right before I get to the line here. Coming out, going to be right up next to the wall, next to the black sign here. And then as you're coming in, I'm looking at this white dot here, and you're going to want to roll over that white dot. And then the issue is you're eventually wanting to get to the bottom. And so the reason I'm lifting is I could not get the truck all the way to the bottom if I didn't lift. So as you'll see, I haven't lifted yet when I'm at that white dot. See, it's quite a ways back. But there's a second white dot that's out here, and I'm lifting before that. So just kind of play with it. Found you want to, or you would think you would want to drive as far in as you can before you lift, but I actually gained a little bit more speed lifting earlier than I thought I should, because it gets you to the bottom earlier. So don't overdrive entry. It's not a full lift. It's not a huge lift or anything like that. But you definitely want to lift before you get to that second dot, just to bring it down. See, I lifted to about, what, 70%, and then I'm already back in the throttle. Now you can see I get loose here, and I'm pushing up the track. You want to be a little bit lower. You're going to want to pay attention to this dot, because that's going to be on your long run to tell if you're eating your tires up or not. So we're going to come back to this on the long run. But anyway, come out, wash out. See, I get a little bit loose there. And then 3 and 4, I'm really looking at the safer barrier here. That's about when things are about to start. But I'm kind of lazy with it. So you've got your black sign and you've got another dot here. I'm not looking at the dot. I'm just kind of lazy turning in, but I end up rolling over that. So you can pay attention to that. And then you just get to the bottom and hold on and hope that it doesn't get loose and you overcorrect or anything like that. So that is how I'm going to qualify here at Atlanta. Now, let's see. Let's go to my runs here. So what I did is I did 2 runs. I did the first run as fast as I could go. Just every lap I'm just pushing. And then the second run I was saving tires for a majority of the run. After about 30 laps, I went ahead and kicked it in. The saving is faster, but not by a lot. So you end up going down after 10 laps. By saving, you are 2.3 seconds behind if you just go flat out. You start running faster laps after lap 10, and then at about lap 35 to 36 is when you will catch up. So for the fixed race, which is 40 laps, I would recommend just kind of going all out. Save if you can, but don't really focus on it, because you've only got 40 laps. More than likely there's going to be a caution, so you're not going to get a 40 lap run most of the time. So I would just say go ahead and go all out. Don't lose any positions by saving. A full fuel run is 49, 50 laps, somewhere around there, and that's solo, so that's without draft or anything like that. So you could probably push it a little longer than that. So if you're doing a league race where you have 100% fuel load, and you can run the entire thing, I would definitely switch over to the saving mode at that point, because you catch at lap 35 and you're going about a tenth faster per lap, right? And so that's really going to add up the longer you can go. So if you're doing the fixed race, I wouldn't save that much. If you're doing a league race where you're going to run the entire stint, I would definitely look at saving a little more there. Tires, not saving, I was at 58.60, right front, right rear. Saving, I was at 63.70. And so I probably would have pushed a little bit harder on exit and not gone super save mode. But about lap 30, I did start kicking in gear and making up the time there. So if I was doing a full fuel run, I would not kick it in at lap 30. I would probably wait until about 37, 38 to give me those 10 laps or so of pushing it to try to make that time up, but not killing my tires in the process. So let's go to lap 5. That is pretty good representative lap of what I'm doing if I'm not saving, because I'm not going to run the qualifying line. It is a little bit different here. 1 and 2 is actually not that different, but I'm running a little bit lower. I'm lifting for longer and then coming on through. So I'm just staying at the bottom, and as soon as I think I can go ahead and come up out of it and not hit the wall, that's where I'm going. But you'll notice on all of my non-saving here, see I'm already coming up to this dot here, and I'm going to show you about 10 laps in what's happening with this. So I'm already at the dot, pushing out. So 3 and 4, same thing, except when I get to the bottom, see I lift here just to keep me from washing up the track and trying to save a little bit of tire. But it's not a lot. And you come on out. Now let's go 10 laps into the run. So that would be lap 13. And let's see my exit out of 2. So I'm doing the same thing here. Up next to the wall, going to the dot, lifting to get to the bottom. It's a longer lift than qualifying, but still pushing as hard as I can here. And see, since I'm pushing as hard as I can, I got back in the throttle really early. And look at how wide I am already. This is absolutely killing my right front tire. It is just absolutely killing it. So that's where you're going to notice if you're killing your tires or not, is really off of the exit of 2. Look and see where you are in relation to that dot. And if you're running high and you've been on the bottom, then you're sliding out a little too much, and you're just going to get super tight late in the run, and you're going to kill your right front. So you got to watch out for that. So now let me go to my saving lap. Let's see, lap 46. Let's go to there. This is at the start of the run. This is like my second lap, first real lap, I guess. And so what I'm going to do is a little bit different. This dot is going to be my lift point. So I'm still going over it, but instead of driving it all the way down to here before I lift and bring it around, I'm lifting here and just staying at the bottom. And you see I'm still out of the gas, until I get to about this part. It's hard to see from this angle, so we'll go in cockpit in a second. But you see how it kind of runs out. You can't see my cursor. It kind of runs out, and then there's this little straight point right here, and then it starts to curve again. So it's still curved, but just a little bit. So it kind of goes, and then it has like a weird line that goes straight. If you can hold on and you want to put the truck pretty much even with that, because that helps get you rotated a lot better to come out and hit these dots out here, and you're not going to just completely wash up the track. So see, I'm on the inside of that dot as opposed to being over it, and I'll show you again. Now it's a lot easier to see when you're in the cockpit view. And so see, it's like it's right there. So you're kind of at the Bojangle sign coming out. But it turns, and then there's this little straight part right here, and you want to stay close to that. And then what that's going to do is that's going to give you the best angle off. Now, if you wanted to super save, yeah, you could go a little bit later. But see, here's those dots that I'm going to be on the inside of. So let's look at the entire corner from cockpit view. Just pay attention to that line. There it is, and that's right when we get back in the gas. So that's how I run 1 and 2 in save mode. 3 and 4, I'm lifting at the black sign here, and I'm just gonna stay lifted all the way. Now, when you get to the end of the billboards, there is this little kink here. So if you want to look at the line, which I do, there's going to be a little bit there. See, it's similar to 1 and 2. So you've got this corner, I guess, right here where it starts going straight. But at the same time, right at that corner, well, if you look up, you're looking at the Atlanta 4 sign, and that's when I get back on it. I got back on it a little too early here, to be honest. But if you go around this corner and you're looking at the Atlanta 4 sign, that's my saving when I'm getting back into it, because your right front is going to heat up the most after you go back to full throttle, both out of 2 and out of 4. So the longer that you can stay out of full throttle, the lower your tire temp's going to be, the lower your wear is going to be, and the truck's going to drive a lot smoother. So let's go back to Far Chase, And 54 is 10 laps into the run here, or roughly. And what I want you to see here is how low I am on my exit of 2 here. Remember before, I was all the way up here and absolutely murdering my right front because I'd gotten on the gas too early. But here, if you wait until that kink to get back in it, that's right there. See, I waited right until that kink to get on it. It's going to bring you out. You're still going to be inside here, so you're going to get a lower exit, which is going to save your right front. So that is how I save tires here. And I usually run pretty well at Atlanta by saving tires, so we'll see how it goes. And again, I'm just lifting here at the line, or at the black sign, coming in, hitting the kink, seeing the sign, straight up. So that is how I plan to attack the track here at Atlanta. And if you do the same, should have some pretty decent results. Let me know. Good luck.